Do plants have families? In the simplest terms, the answer is yes. For a long time, humans have recognized that plants do not exist in isolation. Species with similar characteristics in terms of shape, flowers, fruits, and growth patterns are grouped by scientists into families, much like how we recognize relatives within a human family. For instance, gourds, watermelons, and pumpkins all belong to the same family. The same goes for roses, pear blossom, and cherry blossoms. Plants in the same family often share similar needs for soil, light, and water. However, the concept of a plant family goes beyond just biology. In this video, let's explore the relationships between plant species more deeply, helping us understand them better so we can grow and care for them more effectively. Every week, I share grounded insights on organic gardening and intentional living. Hit subscribe to ensure you're getting authentic, earth-first advice you can actually trust, straight to your feed. Of course, I am not a plant scientist. My purpose in learning about plant families is simply to provide proper care by observing the shape of the leaf blade, whether it is round or heart-shaped, and whether the leaf margin is smooth or serrated. I also pay attention to the flowers, how many petals they have, and their symmetrical arrangement. For example, if you see a flower with 4 petals arranged symmetrically like a cross, you know you are looking at the Brassicaceae. These seedlings share a chemical network called glucosinolates, which produce that signature pungent taste. When a brassica is attacked by a caterpillar, it doesn't just defend itself, it emits a specific chemical signal to warn its nearby kin. The enemy is coming, be on guard. If you encounter a bell-shaped floral structure with berries full of seeds, you are looking at the Solanaceae. This is a clan full of contradictions. Why does the same family include both juicy tomatoes and deadly nightshade? It is a strategy of genetic defense. Some members choose to bribe animals with sweet fruit to disperse their seeds, while others opt to arm themselves with toxic alkaloids to protect the lineage. That is how classical science helps us identify plant families. Yet, beyond scientific definitions, plants also bond in a very different way. Beneath the soil exists a concept of family that isn't based on names or classifications, but is formed through vital relationships where species silently support and rely on one another to survive together. Imagine you could see right through that brown layer of soil. Even in the smallest garden, plant roots never stop at the boundaries of the hole you dug. They stretch out, weave through the earth, and eventually encounter a powerful stranger: mycorrhizal fungi. This is a miraculous intersection that has existed for 450 million years. The tree provides the fungi with sugars and carbon harvested from sunlight. In return, the fungi, with their network of microscopic threads hundreds of times thinner than a human hair, thread through every tiny crevice in the rocks to forage for water and minerals to bring back to the tree. A single teaspoon of forest soil can contain kilometers of these fungal filaments. But that isn't even the most fascinating part. These fungal threads don't just connect trees to the soil, they connect trees to one another. Beneath your feet lies a silent exchange system that scientists call the Wood Wide Web. Water, nutrients, and most remarkably, information are transmitted continuously. Can you believe it? An ancient fir tree at one end of the garden might be sending sugar to a frail seedling struggling in the deep shade of a far corner. This support is far from random. These are the hub trees, playing a central role in the garden's mini ecosystem. They don't exist merely to grow for themselves. They participate directly in nurturing the surrounding generation of young plants. Through their underground root systems, mother trees transmit nutrients, water, and biological signals to help seedlings survive, especially during their vulnerable stages when they are shaded or facing poor soil conditions. Crucially, this support is selective. Mother trees prioritize their own species and even their own kin by making room for the seedlings' roots to grow and reducing competition within their own immediate space. Consequently, the young trees in a garden do not grow up in isolation. They are nurtured, supported, and given the conditions to carry on the legacy of life. This suggests that a plant family isn't just a poetic metaphor. It is a profound ecological relationship quietly unfolding beneath the soil of every person's garden. Why do they do it? Not because of kindness by human definitions, but because their individual survival is inextricably linked to the survival of the entire community. A single tree standing alone in a storm will snap, and fall. A forest with an interwoven root system will stand firm together. For plants, family is a collective survival strategy written into their DNA millions of years ago. In the plant kingdom, members of the same family do not necessarily share identical characteristics or uses. Take the Solanaceae family, for example. On one hand, you have staples that nourish humanity like tomatoes, potatoes, and peppers. Yet on the other, there are species containing deadly toxins. This divergence does not negate their familial bond. On the contrary, it showcases a diverse array of survival tactics. While some species choose to provide energy, others opt to produce chemical compounds such as capsaicin or nicotine to shield the entire lineage from insect attacks. And when danger arises, these family ties become clearer than ever. When a plant is besieged by pests, it does not perish in silence. It releases volatile organic compounds into the air. Neighboring plants sense this SOS signal. Immediately, even before being touched, they begin to alter their physiology, ramping up toxin production in their leaves to prepare for the enemy. It is a chain reaction defense system, a collective struggle for survival unfolding right in your seemingly peaceful garden. An individual may perish, but if its actions help others carrying the same genome within the family survive, then that genome ultimately triumphs. Plants understood this eons before humans did. Beyond the confines of a garden, the spirit of solidarity among trees is manifold stronger in natural forests. In these wild spaces, untouched by human hands, the ancient forest operates like a vast family. Healthy, dominant trees share nutrients with the weak, and mother trees provide shelter and guidance for the saplings to grow. Even when a tree falls, its decaying body serves a final purpose, relinquishing its nutrients to nourish the remaining members of the community. Consequently, when a tree is felled, it is not merely the loss of a single individual, but the fracturing of a vital interconnected network. A truly healthy forest requires more than just a large number of trees. It demands diversity and the capacity for mutual support. Looking at the ecosystem as a whole, it becomes clear that nature does not thrive on selfishness, but through steadfast cohesion, where the life of each member is inextricably woven into the life of the collective. Deep beneath the forest floor lies another secret, a colossal fungal network connecting the roots of all tree species. Far from fierce competition, this network acts as a communal bank to regulate the lifeblood of the entire forest. For instance, during the summer, leafy trees send surplus nutrients down into this network come winter. The fungi redistribute those resources to deciduous trees that have lost their leaves and are struggling. Through this fungal conduction, different species, which might appear to be rivals, are silently nourishing one another through their roots. This connectivity transforms the forest into a unified entity, where the strong uplift the weak to ensure no member is left behind, creating a sustainable ecosystem that no artificial garden could ever replicate. However, a system that has operated perfectly for millions of years is gradually collapsing the moment human intervention begins. When entering a garden, you often desire everything to be orderly. Trees must be in straight rows, soil must be clear of weeds, and no decaying leaves should be left behind. Yet, that very cleanliness inadvertently tears the plant family apart. Do you realize that by overtilling the soil or pulling up every weed, you are unintentionally severing the fungal networks that bridge tree roots together? Instead of living with its family, the tree is now confined to an isolated pot, becoming a lonely entity. Without the support of siblings or parents, it must struggle alone against pests and diseases. Seeing the tree weaken, you pour in more fertilizer and spray chemical pesticides. This creates a vicious cycle. The more you intervene, the lazier the tree becomes, and the faster the soil loses its fertility. You have unintentionally forgotten that plants need a community to thrive. Instead of trying to be the master and forcing the garden to follow your will, learn to let them lean on one another. A truly lush garden doesn't need you to do too much, it only needs you to let it live according to its true nature. Naturally, once you understand that trees thrive through community, you will realize that our traditional gardening methods need a complete overhaul. Instead of focusing solely on individual plants, start learning how to care for the entire extended family living beneath the soil. The first change is to never force a plant to live in isolation. Don't plant a rose bush all by itself. Give it some good neighbors. You can add legumes to enrich the soil with nitrogen, or mint family plants to repel insects for the whole garden. Leave some leaf litter and a few weeds, as these serve as the home for the mycorrhizal network, the communication lines that help the entire plant family support one another. This is the core spirit of permaculture, which I shared in detail in my previous video. If you want to see how to arrange plant layers and improve soil in practice, be sure to re-watch that video for a deeper understanding. When you apply this approach, the results will be astonishing. Your plants will grow stronger on their own, thanks to the support of their siblings and friends, developing a natural resistance without the need for pesticides. You will also break free from the exhausting cycle of chemical dependency and constant tilling. Ultimately, planting a tree isn't just about putting it in the ground, it's about helping it join a community. When you restore a plant's right to live with its family, the garden will gift you back a sustainable lushness that no machine or chemical could ever achieve. The truth is, we never truly plant a tree in the literal sense. We are simply placing it into a pre-existing community of nature. If we isolate it, we are depriving it of the right to live a full and vibrant life. After watching this video, I hope that whenever you plant anything, you will consider the relationship surrounding it rather than just focusing on the individual plant. Try planting a tomato alongside some basil so they can protect each other from pests. Or sow a few bean seeds at the base of your fruit trees to keep the soil naturally nutrient-rich. If you found this video helpful, please don't hesitate to share it with your fellow gardeners. Thank you for watching until the very end, and I'll see you in the next video.